Page 58, Liebestraume. Actually, it's Liebestraume number 3, or it's a melody from that, because the actual piece is a little longer than this. It's gorgeous. It's a beautiful piece. I recommend go listening to it. Listen to the pros. I have a recording I did on my other channel, but go listen to the pros. And don't just listen to one or two. Listen to several, because they'll interpret it differently, and that you get the idea, oh, this is how. They're all reading the same music. They're just playing it differently. It's interpretation. So let's look this over. It's 2 pages long, sort of. Treble and bass clef. There's no sharps or flats in the key signature, so we're either in C major or A minor. So look around. What have we got at the end of page 59 at the bottom? The last chord is here. That's a C major chord again, so I'm guessing we're in C major. Need to be doing the scales. C major and the A minor scales, because those have no sharps or flats in the key signature. I have videos on them. You've heard this lecture before, blah, blah, blah. Okay. 6/8 time, we have a pickup beat, so we're coming in on beat 6 in the left hand. Let's take it one hand at a time, make sure we understand what each hand is doing. The right hand, you're starting here. And it's 1, 2, 3. Remember, the dotted quarter note is the same as 3 eighth notes. If an eighth note gets a count, which it does, then that gets 3 counts. 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 3, 4, 5. Now you can use second finger on the C sharp if you want to, if you don't want to come up in here. I'll leave that up to you. But on the next line, do use a 2 and 4 on that. You're going, that's fine. This way your thumb's ready, because I'm going to want to connect that. And then during the rest, you come back up for the last line. It's about the same. Top of page 59, you reach out with a little finger, you're here, because you're here in the last measure of page 58. Here for 59. And what I would like to do is be able to connect this. With the hands. I may lift up for the phrasing, I don't care, I want to connect it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a fingering technique called a finger substitution to help me out. Organ players do these a lot, and I tend to do these a lot. Some people don't like finger substitutions, but I encourage them. So on this note at the top of page 59 here, after I've played it, while I'm holding it down, I'm going to put the second finger on that note, and now I'm holding it down with 2 and 5 instead of 1 and 5. This way my thumb is free to do that. So it's now at the end of the line, 2 is fine. You can do a 2. Now it's 4, 3. Here. Third line, E, G sharp, and then a B, F natural, G. G natural. The natural sign in that chord is in the wrong place. They're indicating an F natural. It's an F natural, and what we want is a G natural. So that's an error in the printing. You can draw in a little natural sign if you want in front of the G, where the line where the G is on is in the middle of that natural sign, is what it should be. It's a G natural here. And then they give you a natural sign in the correct place in the left hand, and that's good. You need that natural sign because you just had a G sharp in the left hand, and each staff has to have its own set of symbols. Because just because I have a natural sign in one staff doesn't mean it applies to the other staff. It doesn't. They all have to have their own sets, but we want G naturals there. And then it was like it was at the beginning. Left hand, well, it's here. That's a 4, 2, 1 here. We're kind of in this position. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 4 on the back. I want to connect all of this with the finger. Then I can reach up. You don't need the natural sign in front of the F there. It's a natural anyway, but it doesn't hurt having it there. And then going on is 3, 2, 1 because I want to connect it. And then a 4, 1. Rest. 4. Get the idea? Basically, that's what we're doing in the left hand. Just try a fingering that allows you to connect all of this left hand together. Then you try putting the hands together here. 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 You put the hands together. Very slowly. Hesitate all over. It doesn't matter where you're hesitating right now. You're trying to figure out which fingers are working together and when. And then once you have them sort of working together, then you go back through it slowly and work out all the hesitations. So this is a steady beat. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2. Throughout the whole piece, a steady beat. Then once I have that, I'll put in the articulation. Now this is a rather connected piece. Try and connect it as best you can. The melody is up here. They're repeated notes. You can't connect them, but you try. This left hand, connect it. Here, connect, connect. Hold the left hand down. At the end of the second line, you only get an eighth rest in the right hand, so you're just holding it down and then lift it. This lets you move back up. So the whole thing is connected, smooth and connected. The fermata on page 59 in the third line here. Here, you just hold that out as long as it feels right. If I do it with a metronome, I'll hold it for 4 counts instead of 2. And then go on, like you were at the beginning. The last measure, this chord, as a squiggly line, means to roll the chord. 1 note at a time. How fast you go, that's interpretation. Sometimes it's done quickly. Depending on the interpretation, you can slow it down. The actual piece, I believe I'm playing quarter notes on it. And I continue to slow down. There's a ritardando where you've been slowing down. I even slow down in that. Yeah, I milk that chord for whatever. It's interpretation. Now dynamics, it goes to the melody, which is now this pickup beat. That's melody. It is a. That's all melody. Everything else needs to be in the background. So this P is melody. Then these chords have to be very soft. And you're staying in that basic area. You can get a little louder and softer if you feel it. On page 59 in the second line, at the end of the line is crescendo. You crescendo up to about a moderately loud, so don't get loud. And then you're back to soft. And the last line, you crescendo. Up here, again, back up to about a moderately loud or so. And now we're going to stay there. No, we're not going to stay there. They didn't give you anything more. You need to come back down, moderately soft, and die away. Softer, softer, softer. So you're ending it very soft. It's interpretation. At the beginning, I missed it before. It says P, E, legato. You see that? Piano and legato. I already told you connect it all. That legato's connected. We covered that already. Speed. Well, again, this is a tug of war. You don't want these. You don't want these things to go too slow. You don't want those going too slow, but you don't want the eighth notes going too fast. No, so you got to find a speed that works. Somewhere in the middle. Now on page 59 in the second line, you have a poco agitato. It means a little bit agitated. You might speed up a little bit. Slow down. And then you lift up and go on, soft. The last line, you retard. Now, a little retard there. And now we go on slower and slow down. Very slow at the end. Don't drag it too much, but very slow at the end. That's sort of the idea with it. Now, they've added pedals. You see underneath the staff at the beginning, it says cone ped. That means with pedal. But they don't tell you where to pedal. And a lot of pieces will do that. They'll tell you add the pedal as you see fit. In other words, you're expected to know how to do that. Well, I don't really like that in a method book. I would prefer the book try and tell you where to pedal. On the other hand, it's a good lesson in this because you get this in music, and if you're going to use pedal, you need to know how to use it. We use pedal for reasons, or don't use it at all. That's why up until now in this lesson, I haven't used any pedal. I always learn a piece without pedal first, so I can hear what the fingers are doing. So then when I add the pedal, I can understand the difference it's making. This is very legato, so we're going to do a lot of overlapping. And we're going to change it with the harmony because we don't want to mix harmonies, so, you know. But I don't want to smear things up. So at the beginning here, I'm not pedaling the pickup beat. I don't need it. And then here, now I can pedal right after I play the notes. Leave it down. Change it after I play the notes. Change it. Last measure, the first line, I'm changing it every 3 beats here because it gets too muddy. If I pedal the whole measure, I get all of that. I'm changing it on the 4th beat. It clears it out a little bit. And then change. And on the second line, first measure, lift the pedal up and don't pedal this. Now you can pedal that for the harmony, or for the overtones, and then change it. So on the second line, second measure, I'm pedaling the last 3 beats. Change. And I can lift up with the pedal with the right hand so I hear rest. You get the idea, I hope. And that's basic pedaling throughout. Now over on page 59, second line, I'm going to change it every 3 beats here. And now, third line, I'm going to lift it up, so there's a little silence before I go on. And I'm not pedaling the pickup beat, I don't need it. And so forth. Now, in the last line, second measure, I'm changing the pedal on the 4th beat. I want to clear it out. Because I still got the right hand down. Then I'm going to lift the pedal with the hands. And I'm not going to pedal them. Then pedal that. And the last 2 measures, I'm pedaling with the chords. Here. Here. I want to hear the silent. I want to hear the rest. But I want the overtones for the chords. And that's sort of what I'm going to suggest you pedal here. That's interpretation. It's how do you feel it? Try different things out. Don't just copy me. Experiment. Let's play this together very slowly and check the notes and the rhythms. I'm not going to do any dynamics. I'm going to play it all about the same. I'm going to pedal it like I suggested. The fermata notes I'm going to hold twice as long as they're marked. So page 59 in the third line, I'm going to hold that quarter note 4 counts instead of 2. And in the last line, in the left hand, that quarter note, I'm going to hold that 4 counts instead of 2. I got to stay with the metronome. So I'll give us 5 counts, and let's just play this very slowly together. 1, 2, 3, ready, go.